Greetings, friends, and welcome to today's Extraordinary Connection. My name is Devin Smith, and I serve as pastor here at Romeo United Methodist Church, and I'm glad to have you joining me here today. If you're watching this from anywhere in the lower half of Michigan, you can likely look outside right now and see quite a blanket of snow. Monday brought one of those January snowstorms that saw it snowing from those early morning hours all through the day and into the evening. And while it does make for quite a beautiful backdrop out there, anytime that snow comes, anytime it shows up, it also means that a necessary piece of home ownership is about to happen and take place, doesn't it? Means it's time for that snow removal. Well, after I got home yesterday, I recognized this need, so I told my wife and kids I was going to head out and get started. And almost instantly, four other little voices piped up with some comment along the lines of, "I'm coming too!" So all together, we put on our gear, the snow pants and gloves, the hats, the coats and boots, and we headed out into the snow. The kids all quickly grabbed their favorite and preferred shovels and they went to town. And I went back to the shed and went to get the snowblower started. And I have to say, everyone was working really well together. We were getting the jobs done. It was clipping along. That was all going well until suddenly things weren't. As I mentioned, it was a pretty good snow we got, and as such, everything was good and covered. The snow was pretty deep, actually. And that included the shoe mat that sits at the bottom of the steps that leads up to our back door. So as I made my pass, it completely slipped my mind that there was a shoe mat located underneath that pile of snow, and I hit it pretty much full speed and straight on. Well, the snowblower, it let out quite a groan, so I shut it down quickly and made my way around to the front. And as I got around to the front of it, there's a high probability that I let out an exclamation that I don't want to repeat here today. But the kids, of course, recognized something had gone wrong and came running over, which was about the last thing in the world I really wanted. But I quickly discovered that I had managed to get that mat thoroughly and completely stuck. I mean, it was wedged in there. It was wrapped around in some magnificent way that I wouldn't have thought even possible. And to say I was upset with myself would be a bit of an understatement. Primarily because I thought we were kicking butt and we were going to have that driveway taken care of in record time. It was all going so well. After a few moments of letting my anger flare, I rolled that snowblower back to the shed to see what I could do to possibly get that mat out from where it was wedged. I will note here that I do not recommend sucking your welcome mat into the snowblower, because I went and I found the sharpest and biggest pair of wire cutters I had in my tool bag back from my days when I was a telephone man, and I got to work on it. And I worked, and I cut, and I pulled, and I worked some more, and I cut, and I pulled some more. And piece by piece, I was able to remove that mat from the snowblower. Mind you, the mat is no more. It is in our garbage can now, and it was not a quick process. It was not particularly fun, and my hands, they were filthy and they were frozen by the time I finished. But thankfully it was done, and as I went to fire the snowblower back up, it started, it ran, it spun as it should. That was good news for me. However, it was what I found as I pushed the snowblower back around the corner of the garage towards the driveway. That's what really did this father's soul well. You see, the entire time I was hacking away at that welcome mat, still cursing my stupidity under my breath, my kids never stopped working on that driveway with their shovels. My 9-year-old son, along with his 6, 5, and 2-year-old sisters, they kept right on working. By the time I came out around the corner of the driveway, or back onto the driveway, it only required about one more pass of the snowblower, and it was done. All the snow was removed. Not only that, but as I came up to them, it was my kids that suggested we should head across the street and help out the neighbor lady who lives alone to get her driveway cleared as well. As I said, it was a proud father moment. One that made me thankful for my kids. Thankful that Well, there are days that they yell and fight and yell and slam doors and yell and stomp off. Did I mention they yell sometimes? In spite of those times, they worked together to do what needed doing. They did it even as they were well aware just how upset I was, even as they knew that Dad wasn't going to be coming along with the snowblower to remove the majority of the snow like I usually do. They just kept on working, kept on doing what was needed until the job was done. And I'm not sharing this today as any kind of bragging on my kids or my family. I'm sharing it because I am proud of them and their choices in that time yesterday. But I'm also sharing it because as I've reflected on it here today, as I've sat here, it also made me realize, isn't that the very thing we want to see in our church family as well? Isn't that what we're called to be as the church together? My mind instantly went to one of my favorite pieces of scripture. It's actually one that was used and read at a wedding I just did recently. It's from Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 through 12. It reads, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up the other. But woe to one who is alone and falls, and does not have another to help. Again, if two lie down together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though one might prevail against another, two will withstand one. A threefold cord is not quickly broken." Yesterday, I was the one who tripped and fell, and I was feeling pretty rotten. But I wasn't alone. It was my kids who picked me back up and helped keep me going. My hope, my prayer is that we as the church can continue to do that for one another. That we can be there. We can be there to support and uplift when another struggles. That we can pick up the slack when life circumstances causes another to lag behind or fall. That we can recognize that when we make God a part of that threefold cord, we cannot be quickly broken. We can and we will prevail, regardless of what welcome mats or any other challenges Satan might have to throw at us. Till next time, I hope you all stay warm on these cold winter days, that you stay safe, take care, and God bless.